As we get a little further into 2013, forages remain scarce and inputs remain high for cattle producers, meaning they need to squeeze every dollar they can out of those animals. Here to talk about that and help us figure out some strategies for success, Gant Mouer, our beef value enhancement specialist here at Oklahoma State University. Gant, you say really the first place to start is with record keeping.
Yeah, absolutely, Austin. Without proper records in a cow herd, it's hard for us to decide which cows we need to keep, which cows that we need to cull, and it doesn't have to be very invasive. It doesn't have to be very hard to do. At least get the when the calves are born, what cow that calf is out of, and we need to know if that cow has actually calved, and if she's open, we need to get her on down the road to save any type of forage we can. Also, Austin, we need to keep those records in case we need to use them further on down the road in some type of marketing program. Okay. And it's always important, the more information we have on our cow herd, the more value we can add back to that cow herd.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, you say when you have those records, though, it can actually change your management practices and let you have a more valuable behaviors.
Absolutely. Once we see a lot of times when producers start collecting calving data or weaning data, we actually start having a more of a condensed calving season, and when I mean more of a condensed calving season, a 90-day calving season or less. And what this allows us to do is have more uniform calf crops and bigger lots of calves to sell when we take those calves to market at the sale barn. And oftentimes, we might even try to shrink that calving season to say a 42 or a 63-day calving season, just to improve reproductive efficiency in that cow herd.
All right. Now let's talk about some of the things you can actually do with the cattle as opposed to with record keeping and so on. Let's start with supplements. Supplements, vaccinations. I mean, these are things folks might want to cut back on a little bit considering the cost, but really that can be kind of detrimental.
Absolutely. What we found out this year, especially with the drought, our cows are not receiving the types of minerals and nutrients that they typically receive in a normal year in Oklahoma. And what we're seeing in grower yards and feedlots, we're seeing increased death loss, and in some points up to 8 to 10% death loss. And this can be detrimental in our cow herd, in our profitability. And so we need to do anything we can to allow those calves to do well and have quality cattle for the next producer going on down the line. And like you mentioned earlier, this might be using a mineral program, having a mineral program in place to try to increase nutrients in that calf, and also vaccination programs are second to none in terms of increasing or decreasing morbidity and mortality with those calves coming into the feedlot.
All right, talk a little bit about implants.
Yep, implants along with ionophores are cost-effective means to increase efficiency within those calves. If you don't have a marketing plan in place, or a producer doesn't have a marketing plan in place that is a natural or organic program, they need to really consider using an implant or ionophore. An implant costs about $1, and we typically see a $10 return on an investment. And similarly, an ionophore we can feed at 100 to 200 milligrams a day, and it costs about 2 cents a day. And we can increase efficiency in those calves anywhere from 8 to 20%. So very cost-effective means to be able to supplement those calves in that way.
All right, now on another note, those we're putting a little bit of money in to get some money out. Some things you can do that don't really require the monetary inputs to your cattle, say castration, dehorning, things along that nature.
Yep, absolutely. When these calves go through the sale barn, year after year, a bull calf receives about a $3 to $6 a hundredweight discount compared to a steer calf, and it doesn't take much time, and it's to castrate a calf, and it's not very invasive if we do it young enough in that calf. If we decide to castrate that calf at weaning, that calf will go off feed a little bit. So we need to consider doing it earlier at birth or maybe at branding when we give that first round of vaccinations. And Austin, similarly with dehorning, we see anywhere from a $7 to $10 discount in horn cattle going through the sale ring, and we need to dehorn those calves as early as possible to reduce stress and keep those calves on feed as we come through a weaning program.
Now, I guess one of the important things is once you're thinking about all these things, the idea is to have a plan in place before those calves hit the ground so that then you can look at the preconditioning programs. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, now is the time to start thinking about that as those calves are hitting the ground in a spring calving season. Or we may have some fall calves that calved in August and September, and we're going to think about weaning them this spring. We can kind of incorporate these management practices, put them together, and maybe enroll those calves in a program like Oklahoma Quality Beef Network, the VAC 45 program that we offer here at Oklahoma State University, or many other programs. And when we do that, it's a very cost-effective, cheap method to market those cattle. And what we're really doing is we're telling buyers, hey, we have done this, we have quality cattle, and we have added value to these cattle. And typically, we're seeing anywhere between a $6 to $10 hundredweight premium for those calves over a non-wean type calf.
All right, good information as always. Gant Mouer, the Beef Value Enhancement Specialist here at Oklahoma State University. And if you'd like to know more about any of the topics we discussed today, you can find links on our website, sunup.okstate.edu.